Hi everyone. I was just live in the membership group and I thought I would drop by for all of you. A little bit about the same topic, but this is such important information. Thank you first for watching me, and thank you for following me, and thank you for liking and subscribing on YouTube and Instagram, and this is overwhelming, it has been these days. So I thank all of you for sticking with it during this, I would say, challenging times that we're going through. Now, why I'm here today is this. We are doing, or my mission right now is to help you walk through the holiday season in the most amazing way, so that you can stay true to yourself, what you believe in, and feel empowered instead of what we usually do. What do we usually do? Well, usually we fall off the wagon, we don't do what we're supposed to do, and we are bombarded with stress. We feel so out of sorts just because of the expectations that we feel is on us right now. I mean, in my work, I see where healing comes from. I also see where so-called sickness comes from. And let me tell you, this holiday season, or the holiday season, is probably the time of the year where we have most of what we don't want, in the sense of stress, feeling expectations, going to do things you don't really want, struggling with your inner demons, going off of your protocol, not feeling heard or seen, not feeling included. It could be so many things. Okay, hold on. Let me find my glasses. Here you are. So what I am doing in my membership group this month, and stick with me because it's not all about that, is we are having, first of all, and I printed this, and if you go in and you get a hold of all of my programs, I suggest you not only print them, but you put them together as small booklets. And look at this one. This is the Thanksgiving menu plan. This is the complete Thanksgiving menu plan. Oh, it comes out probably, you can't even read it. And this is why I made this one. So it's a 20-something page menu plan. And what it is a combination. So there's one plan for raw. For all of you that are raw, this is right here. This is the family menu plan for raw. And the raw master plan has fritters, gravy, soup, bread, stuffing, and pumpkin pie. Who doesn't like that, right? And then you see, I have a cooked vegan plan for those that are planning to throw parties for an extended family or a family member or most family members that aren't raw. Because this is all about including everyone. But we can include ourselves and be empowered. Okay, so this is the vegan, cooked vegan menu plan. It is sweet potato loaf, nut roast, whole roasted cauliflower, gravy, stuffing, and cheesecake. Now, who doesn't like that? This is a Thanksgiving menu plan. I want you to go in and download, okay? So that's the one. We also have another one called Inspired Holiday Recipes, which you can also download under recipes. This is anything from inspired nog, instead of the regular nutmeg, you have stuffed portobello, we have mashed delight, which is like a cauliflower mashed potato type of thing, blueberry pie, joyful brownies, So we got that covered. So if ever you're thinking, oh, I don't know how to go through the holiday season with my diet, like I really don't know how to do that, and then comes the really important stuff up. And this is what we're doing in November. We are going to talk about all the topics that makes it difficult for you to stay with it. And also, how about learning something at the same time? How about learning about yourself and about where the trouble really is? Because it's true, our struggles that we see potentials to heal. And believe me, this is what I see with my clients, with everyone I work with. Diet is one little part of the puzzle, but what goes on around you, what goes on within you, what goes on in your head, that's where it's all about. And if you can control, not even control, if you can release the power within you that is the boss of everything, in the sense that you can allow yourself to just float into everything and anything. And you can say no. You can create healthy boundaries. So we are going to do, or I'm going to do 5 videos. I'm going to do them live. So make sure I'm going to do the first one on Thursday. And these are the topics that I'm going to talk about. Okay? So we're going to talk about how to balance body and mind to not be in fight or flight mode. And like I said, there is no other season that you or most people feel so stressed, feel so much anxiety than the holiday season. How did we even create that? How did we allow the forces of capitalism, whatever you want to say, how did we allow that to take the attention from what a holiday season should be about? Joy, family, love, prayer, and good vibes. Okay, so I'm going to make a video on that, on how to balance the body and mind so that you're not affected. Okay, then video number 2 is going to be about how cooked food will affect your detox. This is big in this community because, and I say community, maybe not the wrong word, amongst people eating raw living food. We can say that now. Most people know what it is even. It is just food. It's not something special. We didn't do anything to it. It's not a cult. It's not extreme in any way. It's just we're refraining from altering chemistry in the food. So we're just eating it right from nature, the way it is. We can make recipes. We can put together different tastes. We can use spices. I mean, you could do pretty much anything, but you're just not cooking the food. Now, if you want to cleanse your body and feel better in the sense that you're already on to changing your life through detoxification, this is when it can become tricky to include cooked food for the sake of the season. And this is the thing. I mean, if you're eating cooked food, fine. If you're even cooked vegan food, fine. If you upped your game and stopped drinking coffee and maybe you're gluten-free, fabulous. I'm talking to you who are on a path that wants to stay there and be inspired to stay there, okay? So I want to tell you in a video what happens to your body when you eat cooked food versus raw to inspire you to see if that's really what you want to do, okay? Then number 3 is how to deal with other people's opinion about your diet. You know, when you sit back, it's almost unbelievable that that would even be a topic for someone to talk about, to have a real talk about, person to person, how to deal with that, how to deal with other people's opinion about our diet. Now, we must be the only species on this planet that would even discuss or have any negative connotation towards each other's diet. It's a personal choice. It is probably one of the most personal choices there is. What you put in your sacred temple, what you put into your body, it's yours. And I want to empower you in different ways so that you can understand what I'm saying, but I'm also going to give you direct tools on how to conduct yourself, how to communicate with people, and how to treat yourself, okay? Very important one. Number 4, how to manage stress and expectation during the season. And this is what I touched upon initially. Manage stress. So we're going into a season we see as stressful. Remember, these questions are members that have given me, not mine. Members are saying, I'm stressed during this season. How do I manage stress and expectations? I feel there are expectations. And when they are not met, there is consequence. Because if we didn't think that there would be consequence, we wouldn't care that they weren't met. There's always a fear behind all of this. There's fear behind stress. being good enough, not being enough, period. And the stress is the killer. It's the #1 killer. So why would a period of our season that is supposed to be about joy and family and prayers and gratitude, how could that make us sick? This is where we're at. This is what we need to grab a completely different perspective on, in my humble opinion. And this comes from working with a lot of people. This is just not me. But boy, have I been there. I was like the #1, have everything together. Make sure everybody's happy. People pleasing, people pleasing. Pleasing people for acknowledgement. We're pleasing people for inclusion. Feeling like you're enough. And the last one, how to stay raw at a family dinner, which of course includes several things, but most of all, pure tips, pure practical. So we're going to cover all aspects of life during the holiday season, because it reflects how we see the rest of the world, the rest of the year. That's how I see. I mean, if we're going to cave under stress during the season, if we're going to jump off what we believe in, if we're going to feel anxious, if we're going to get sick, or if we're, worrying about it, it tells us a lot about how we see ourselves the rest of the year, and how we see life the rest of the year, and how we live. 2 years ago, I started a completely new tradition in my household, in my own household. When I got so sick that I couldn't attend anything, and I don't know if you know my story, and I'm not going to go into it here. I have, I have my books here. I'm not going to, bring that up now, but my book From Hell to Inspired will tell you my whole story if you're interested. You find it on Amazon. But when I got to the point where I got so sick that I couldn't do any of that, like I was bedridden, like I needed to stay in bed. Like I know a lot of you just can't do it anymore. It's like too much. When you get to that point and you withdraw, you realize more of the stress. You realize more because you can feel it in your body, what you don't want. You can really feel what feels stressful. When you have low adrenals and can hardly, manage your life, there's just so much stress that needs to come out and you're flat on your back. Have you noticed? Like if you have low adrenals and you're a little bit stressed beforehand, it doesn't take much of a trigger for you to go over the top and have like a full-blown anxiety attack. So the more you heal and the more you walk your path toward truth and becoming authentic, the easier for you it will be to recognize that which has always stressed you. See, it has always stressed us. We've just not wanting to look at it. We've just been sweeping it under the carpet, so to speak. So for me, I stopped everything. I had to. It represented everything that made me sick. The chaos, the conversations, the judgment, the expectations, all of it. So I withdrew and I had a feeling I don't like Christmas anymore. Like I don't like Thanksgiving anymore. Well, I'm in Norway. We don't celebrate Thanksgiving the way that you do in the US. So a lot of people in Europe, they know what I'm talking about. But, the holiday season starts in November where we have gatherings, and it's like a whole month and a half at least of partying if that's what you're into. If that's what your family is into, there could be a lot of alcohol involved. We have all different connotations to Christmas time, but for me, it was very much attached to food. Like my favorite food, meat, alcohol with the meat, special traditional dishes that was so embodied within me, even the smell of it. And then also the partying, so much of what I couldn't participate in that I just said, I'm gonna ditch this. This just isn't me anymore. And I could just see the hype. I could see the pressure of buying the best gifts and spending the most money and everything that I was so stressed about every year. I'm like, how could I even do that? So I just stopped I stopped. I really couldn't care less. I had more, to me, important things to think about. And then, actually not until a couple of years ago, things shifted within me. I started connecting with the message of Christmas that came from love, from pure love. I was listening to some of the old songs, and it opened my heart. And it opened my heart to my closest family, to my children and my grandchildren. And I felt this warmth. So I started making my house feel like a sanctuary during that time. First time 2 years ago. And I told my immediate family we were going to have Christmas together. It was my son, my daughter with her 2 children. That was it. And my husband. So we were going to have Christmas at my house. And you see, and I just have to say really short, before that, I had spent years where I had always had people over for Christmas, but I had been cooking the old paradigm meals for them. No judgment, whatever you want to eat, that's fine from my standpoint, okay? So I'm talking about my standard, my standpoint. So I had been cooking that, sitting at the end of the table, drinking my smoothie. I was not included in anything going on. We had more people over than I could really manage. There was alcohol, which I wasn't aligned with anymore, you know, in that sense. It just wasn't aligned with me, any of it. But I was still doing it. So until I figured, you know what? I am the host. And I am creating this day. I am going to do it my way. This year, we're going to do something different. So I wrote each family member, including the children, they got an invitation to meet midday in their robe. That's it. I wanted no stashing, you know, I just wanted us to really connect down to the core of the message. So meet up in your robe, and then I gave them all tasks. Like I remember Mia, she was 7 at the time. She got to become in charge of setting the table, decorating the table, any way she wanted, any way, shape, or form. And my grandson, which was 5 at the time, he got in charge of making the orange juice for our meal. So he had to make orange juice for all of us, which he thought was the most amazing task. And he felt such a big boy, you know, that he had, you know, something that he was in charge of. And they came around noon, and we all prepared the meal together, having different tasks, you know, each had our own thing that we were in charge of. Then we spent the day reading, talking, snacking, watching favorite movies. We had the tree, we had the gifts. We had just tried to, I tried to scale it down somewhat, but I love gifts too. I love preparing gifts. I love giving gifts. So I'm not going to say that there's anything wrong with that. For me, there's nothing wrong with that. But I was just noticing that we went overboard. Before that, I remember the year before this, there were so many gifts to the children. They were like opening half the gifts, throwing the paper, and they were on to the next one. It was just, to be honest, it was disgusting. It was disgusting. So that night, we decided, okay, next year we're not going to do it like that with the gifts. You know, we're going to scale it down. So, and that's what we did. And I think we had the most amazing, amazing Christmas Eve ever. We celebrate Christmas Eve in Norway, not Christmas Day. So usually you come for dinner around 5, and then you spend the dinner, and then it goes, for some, it becomes partying after. But we spent the whole day together and prepared it together as a family in our robes. And we ate dinner in our robes, except for Mia. She had a dress with her. She said, I'm wearing a dress. And I said, that's fine, wear your dress. And she was beautiful. And we were on the floor playing with the kids' new toys. We were attentive. We spent time being together and really looking at all the gifts and playing and being mindful. Now, this last year, 2019, we were going to have, you know, Christmas. I didn't even think we were going to do like exactly the same thing. or it was 2 years ago, and then it was, 3 years ago, and then 1 year ago. I'm sorry about that, because, And I was thinking, okay, so the robe thing was like a one-time thing. And then getting closer, I'm like, okay, so we're gonna meet up, you know, I'm gonna make a vegan meal. I don't make a raw meal for everyone because everyone is not raw, but my kitchen is a vegan kitchen. I draw the line at veganism, you know, like in my kitchen. So excuse me, you know, I'm preparing the food, I'm preparing vegan food. I never had any complaints though. I mean, it's beautiful food. And then I always make my own. I eat fruit, and the children, they can choose. Most of the time they'll eat what I eat. And I always include raw, of course, into the cooked food, so there's always a choice. The thing is this, we get close to Christmas, and my son's like, we're not gonna do the robe? I'm like, I didn't think so. I mean, would you want it? Like, yeah, like that's the whole thing. We need to do the robe thing. So we did it again. So I guess now you can call it a tradition at my house. We're focusing on good food. We're focusing on doing it together. We're focusing on, I mean, it's not, you can't dress up. And we dress up whenever we feel like it. But I just felt like we needed to strip it down to simplicity. And this is what I want to do with my message to you. Simplicity. Let's leave the bullshit behind. Let's walk through this holiday season together, being our best version. And let's focus on stress-free, expectation-free, more joy, more dancing, more gratitude, more prayers for a better time, more time with the little ones, showing them the best way. And this is what I am doing in my membership group. So this was the advertisement for the group also, you know. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. We want your presence because the more the merrier. And we want this season to be merry. So look for the Thanksgiving menu plan. And whatever you choose today to do, wherever you're at, truly from my heart, I wish you an amazing season. And I wish you a season which brings joy to your heart, to your heart, your heart. Protect your heart. You are valuable. Your health matters. Your health matters to all of us. Spend time around people who think the same. And if you can't, I will teach you how to protect yourself and how to live around people that have more of a stressful, and I don't like to label, but more of a narcissistic trait. And you know what I mean by that. Try to live with that through the season when you're going to family dinners and you really want to attend, even though some people might trigger you. I will teach you how to observe instead of absorb. So I want to leave you with this. Observe, not absorb. Until we speak again. Hope to see you on YouTube. I love that you share, like, and that you engage. Thank you. This is Hilde Larsen signing off.